What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have to counterpunch something that I just saw. Reading my articles, reading my info that I receive daily. And this was from Yahoo Sports, and the title was Deontay Wilder has single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. Okay, it says, as quote, 5 years ago, into the reign as the WBC heavyweight champion, questions still remain about Deontay Wilder. On January 17th, 2015, Wilder defeated Bermane Stiverne in Las Vegas to win the WBC belt. That win came when there was legitimate questions about the caliber of the opposition and indeed about the caliber of the heavyweight division as a whole, okay? But now the heavyweight division is better than it has been in years, and the primary question surrounding Wilder is whether he's the hardest puncher in boxing history. It was just 5 weeks ago that Anthony Joshua reclaimed the heavyweight titles. It says title, but titles from Andy Ruiz in hugely hyped rematch. While we're 5 weeks away from a rematch between Wilder and Tyson Fury on February 22nd at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. There was no guarantee that Wilder would be the guy to help drag the division out of the dark ages. He had no real wins of note prior to fighting Stiverne 5 years ago. Even though he entered the bout with 32-0 record and 32 knockouts, he showed extraordinary power. 18 of his 32 wins were by a first-round knockout, but they came against no-hopers or fighters on the back ends of their career. Okay, his most noticeable opponents have been Malik Scott, Sihari, Liakovic, Audley Harrison. None of them was truly great, okay? The only person I heard of was Malik Scott, but okay. And though Wilder defeated Stiverne by a wide margin, he won 10, 11, and 12 of the rounds according to the judges to become champion. He left the ring with as many questions as answered. Stiverne was hospitalized after the fight with rhabdomyolysis. That's bad. But Wilder was unable to finish him. He didn't give any indication that night he would be special, but he awaits his hotly anticipated rematch with Fury, which is expected to do more than 1 million pay-per-view buys. The scripted has changed. Wilder is no worse than 1A behind Fury when talking about the world's best heavyweights. And to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's already number one. He's dropped every man he's ever fought and had Fury down twice. Their classic 2018 battle at Staples Center in Los Angeles, it was only a miraculous recovery by Fury from a thudding 12-round knockdown that kept Wilder from becoming the lineal heavyweight champion. One judge scored the fight for Wilder, the second half for Fury, and the third half, meaning it was split. Okay. Now, since that night, he's knocked out Brazil and Ortiz. Okay, did that last year. Ex-Fury trainer Ben Davison said after Wilder stopped Ortiz in November that he felt like Wilder was the hardest puncher in boxing history. That's saying something considering the huge number of sluggers who existed, but it's hardly a stretch. And while Wilder was seen as wild and crude heading into the 2015 bout with Stiverne, even that perception has changed. He's far from a classic boxer. He's shown repeatedly that he is able to create openings for his power with his style. Boxing is all about maximizing your strengths and minimizing the opponent's strengths, and so that you can land more and more significant blows than the other side. Wilder has done that repeatedly, and Fury said at a news conference last week, it's no luck. He's got to land those. Now, I'm reading this. I've read this whole thing, and it took damn near 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes. So I'm reading all this. How in the hell? How in the Hades did Deontay Wilder single-handedly revive the heavyweight division? This article by Yahoo Sports makes no sense to me. They've told me a synopsis of how he beat Stavern, went 12 rounds before. They questioned his performance. He fights Fury. He knocks Fury down. Fury verifies that, yes, he's a hard hitter. Okay. Joshua got his belts back. What else is in that I don't see how he single-handedly took the heavyweight division out of darkness. And I hear Wilder say this a lot. Like, a lot of people would agree, the heavyweight division was dark. But understand something. It was dark to a certain demographic. Okay? You had the Klitschko's there. Nobody could beat the Klitschko's. Therefore, it went dark. Why? Because we had no American champions. Simple. We had no American champions, and we had no champions that had the bollocks or the balls to step up to Klitschko. The only Klitschko that was fighting was Vladimir. Vitali retired. Then Deontay Wilder fought Stavern. Facts. He fought this motherfucker for 12 rounds. Bermain Stavern went to the hospital with rhabdomyolysis. That's some bad shit. I had that once upon a time. It's no joke, people. It's when your muscles break down because you do too much too soon, too early. Right? So, I'm sitting here reading this, and I'm trying to decipher, like, where the hell did 5 years, Stavern, a draw with Fury, 2 fights with Ortiz, make him single-handedly revive the heavyweight division? What did he do so significant? It makes no sense. I know what they're doing. I hear and I see, and I've read that they're questioning if he's the hardest knockout artist in boxing history. Let me counterpunch this, guys. First of all, Deontay Wilder, the same way, this is what he has to do to convince these people, is he the hardest puncher? Ernie Shervis was a hard puncher. David Tua was a hard puncher. You got a lot of hard punchers. Ray Mercer and George Foreman. The list goes on. This doesn't mean anything. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a this is a hype job, but it reminds me of a gimmick. You know, in this article, you didn't see anything about opposition. You heard things about questions and answers, and we have questions, and we question his heavyweight belt and how did he get it and all this. But they're questioning, well, is he the hardest puncher? See, what they're doing is this is what they're pitching. He's the hardest puncher in boxing history. Anybody can get behind that. It's clever. I am not hating on it. But what I'm saying is, how is he, being the hardest puncher in boxing history, revive him for being single-handedly reviving the heavyweight division? Like, why would they want to take credit for someone just because he fucking can punch hard? Make him the savior of the heavyweight division, to bring the heavyweight division out of darkness. That motherfucker didn't fight Klitschko. Any of the Klitschkos. Those were the people that had the belts. Facts. Vitali had the belt. He relinquished that shit. And guess what? Bermain Stavern had it by default. He fought Stavern. 12 rounds. A man with fucking rhamdo, meaning he had to lose too much weight. I don't know what the hell he was eating, but he beat that ass. He won. But does that make you a savior? Does that bring the heavyweight division out of darkness? And this is one thing that Deontay Wilder should stop saying, because it only makes him look foolish. Stop saying that, oh, people didn't even know who was the heavyweight champion back then. Motherfucker, you knew. Vladimir, the same person that knocked you the fuck out, bottom line, knocked you out twitching and shit. White just blew the whistle, right? So you don't say, oh, nobody knew who the champ was. Oh, okay, he's a nobody. Cool. All right. Since he's a nobody, you got knocked out in sparring by him, but then yet you don't want to fight him. That's a person, your fucking manager protected you, called you a baby and rubbed your head. Just rubbed you. No, Deontay. That's bad, man. That's real bad. So, I don't understand this article. Maybe, I know this article is to hype up Deontay Wilder, but let's be real about it. That's why I had to Counterpunch Yahoo Sports. He didn't revive boxing. And him being a knockout, being the hardest puncher, okay, I don't disagree with that. I think he hits harder than a motherfucker. I think Deontay Wilder is like the John Henry of boxing. Okay? He will punch you and knock you the fuck out, given the right punch, given the right angle, given the right distance. There's no debate about none of that. I'm not hating on his God-gifted power. I'm not doing that. I won't do that. I will never do that. Okay? So that's that. But it's who you knock out. It's not, oh, I knocked out these people, just like Yahoo. Fighters that's past their prime, which is who? Ortiz. Come on, how many times you people made jokes about Ortiz being old? Come on, I'm a fan of him. But that doesn't mean that people didn't make fun of him. Even him made fun of him. You never know how old he is. Right? So why should that be that person you go to as a verification that you are this badass? And that person ain't fought nobody else. It would be different if he kicked Brazil's ass. He whooped Dillian White once upon a time. He knocked out Kalnaki. He did beat David Price, right? Or no, Dave Allen. Sorry, not David Price. He beat Dave Allen, but then it would be different if he had more to build on. You got this guy you didn't want to fight 4 years ago because you claimed he was a drug cheat, just like you talk shit about Jarrell Miller. He went back and go back and watch the videos. This cat said, you know what? I never fight him. Luis Ortiz is a cheat. And that's when he was knocking people out. That's when that was the matchroom days. Now all of a sudden you can fight him. Well, what happened to your fucking morals, Deontay? If your morals should never change. Yeah, they should never change. So why would you all of a sudden not fight this man 4 years ago, but then all of a sudden 2 years ago, fight him? And actually, that was 5 years ago now. You know, time's turning. Okay, you wouldn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight him because he claimed he was a cheat. Well, like Deontay Wilder said, he's a cheat, once a cheat, always a cheat. That's why I won't fight him. But he fought him anyway. He fought him twice. And he built his resume over that because it's the only person he's fought. Facts. Dominic Brazil's already been beaten. Okay? He's already been beaten. So we can't use him. Okay? He knocked him the fuck out, though. I will credit that. But it ain't the first time someone has knocked him out. Anthony Joshua already did it years ago. Yeah. But somehow he becomes the WBC mandatory. Make that shit make sense. Okay. Anyway, that's another video. But I'm trying to see where in Yahoo Sports, where this man single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. Yeah, we can say he helped it, but we can't say he's single-handedly. This is a lie. This is fucking false. If anybody nobody single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. I'm going to tell you who did that. First of all, it was 1A and 1B. You know who 1A was? Tyson Fury. Because he broke the wheel. He half broke it. The wheel was still turning because Klitschko was not down. He was down, but he was not out. Okay? But Joshua is 1B. Because not only did he upset the guy that was the reigning champ for 10 years, that Deontay Wilder's manager did not want him to go anywhere near, he knocked him out. Joshua knocked this guy out. So Joshua shot. Tyson, he upset Vladimir Klitschko, and we know the rest of the story. He had mental illness. He got on drugs, started drinking, all this other shit. He did all that, right? He fell from grace. So if you ask yourself, who single-handedly revived the heavyweight division, it's not Deontay Wilder. He's in the mix. I think he used this as an opportunity. I think Deontay Wilder's an opportunist. Why not? He's been fighting 11, 12 fucking years. Guess what? He's going to use this as an opportunity. Using little bullshit articles like Yahoo Sports did. Single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. By how? Beating Stavern? Drawing with Fury? Come on now. Let's stop that. Let's stop this. That's my counterpunch on it. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.